Good afternoon, everyone. It's about 2 o'clock, 2:02. The CDC issues alert amid Marburg virus outbreak abroad. Now, if many of you remember, my husband and I did a live about the Marburg. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warned doctors Thursday to be aware of 2 growing outbreaks of Marburg virus disease in Africa, which we know, and will begin reaching out to some arriving travelers to the U.S. to watch for symptoms of the Ebola-like viral hemorrhagic fever. This new CDC alert comes as cases have climbed to the wake of Equatorial Guinea and Tanzania, declaring outbreaks of Marburg earlier this year. The outbreak is the first declared for each country and ranks as among the largest on the continent in a decade. Currently, the risk of Marburg virus disease, MVD, in the United States is low. However, clinicians should be aware of the potential for imported cases. It is important to systematically assess patients for the possibility of viral hemorrhagic fevers. The CDC's alert urges. So, most of us know what Marburg is. However, if you don't know what is Marburg virus and what are the symptoms, Marburg is a virus that can infect humans who come in contact with its animal host, the types of bats native to Africa. It can then be transmitted from an infected person to others throughout contact with bodily fluids or blood. Also, we learned last week that this also, people who are infected who touch surfaces and their clothing also can be infectious. Similar to its close relative Ebola, Marburg begins with common symptoms like fever and headaches before progressing to increasingly severe issues like diarrhea, massive hemorrhaging, and organ failure. Around half of its patients with identified cases become not with us anymore. On average, the organization WHO estimates symptoms can begin as early as 2 days after exposure or as late as 3 weeks. My husband and I stressed on the fact that you can be walking around with this for up to 21 days, carrying this without symptoms. So far, local authorities have tallied 14 confirmed cases in Equatorial Guinea since the outbreak was declared on February 13th, with 10 not with us anymore. An additional 27 probable cases have been identified, the WHO said Thursday, which is today. The CDC says 8 cases have been confirmed in Tanzania. I think that's how you say that, Tanzania, with 5 not with us anymore. Most experts think that the 2 outbreaks stemmed from separate so-called spillover events from an animal to human, the CDC says. Authorities have warned that cases in Equatorial Guinea have been detected across a wide swath of the country with no known links between patients, suggesting that the virus is spreading undetected among people in the region. Though we do not know yet what the origin of the Marburg outbreaks in Equatorial Guinea and Tanzania, it's Tanzania. We're just going to go with that, Tanzania. We do know that there continues to be increased capacity in Africa to recognize and test samples for viral hemorrhagic fevers like Marburg and Ebola, the WHO says. Travel and other precautions. There are no direct flights from either country to the U.S. However, the CDC says it has begun sending text messages to arriving travelers who had been in Equatorial Guinea or Tanzania, urging them to contact authorities if they develop Marburg symptoms within 21 days after their trip. Currently, no enhanced domestic travel measures are recommended, as the overall risk in the United States is considered low at this time, the CDC alert says. The agency says it is also working with non-governmental organizations in the areas with guidance echoing their Ebola recommendations for avoiding infections and screening workers after they return. The CDC has previously been updated its guidance for Ebola to include Marburg as well, in addition to stepping up its travel alert over the outbreak. In Tanzania, the White House says the U.S. has been providing personal protective equipment as well as technical support in the epidemic management. In Equatorial Guinea, CDC responders first began developing in the wake of the outbreak being declared in February. The U.S. laboratory was stood up on March 10th and is now training local authorities to diagnose suspected cases of Marburg. Work on possible vaccines. Now again, this is what my husband and I were talking about last week. There are no approved vaccines or treatments for Marburg, although manufacturers of several potential vaccine candidates, including one U.S. government-backed option from the Sabin Vaccine Institute, that's SABIN, have readied some experimental pokes that could be deployed. 750 doses from that vaccine based on chimpanzee adenovirus, not sure that word, are ready to be developed in trials for the current outbreak. WHO officials have previously said shots may be administered in a ring approach around the contacts of each case who are at risk in hopes of helping to stem transmission. The WHO said Thursday that there are no agreed upon date for when the country will greenlight test vaccines to begin, but the Equatorial Guinea has cleared visas for its experts to arrive ahead of shots potentially going into the arms. When the conditions may be favorable, the trials may be initiated. So right now is building the basics of good alert management and case management, and other basics of around the outbreak response, and at a further date may be considered. But for now, we don't really have a confirmed date for when it will start. Yeah, so that's a thing. So I want you guys to pay attention to this. I don't know what's going on with my hair today. I took a shower and, didn't do anything with it but brush it. So we're kind of a frizzy curly mess. If I'll link that video live that my husband and I did talking about this, because we do put a lot more information in that. Again, I'm not here to fear I'm not trying to drive fear. I'm trying to keep you guys in the know, because I know a lot of you do not watch or read the news. You wait for someone on YouTube to kind of do that. But I do urge you to please go and from this day forward, if you haven't been from last week and before when we were talking about this last year, I need you guys to stay alert about this. So there's a lot going on, and my dog's sneezing over here, and just stay in the know with this one. I feel as this one is really, really important. I love you guys. God bless in Jesus' name, and have a great day. If I don't see you guys, have a wonderful time on Easter. Hopefully many of you are getting ready to, get cooking and have family over and watch the little ones collect the little eggs. But again, that's not what it's about. It's not about the Easter Bunny or the chickies or the eggs. It's about Jesus. So Good Friday is tomorrow, and we're thankful for that. Thankful for him. You guys have a great day, great weekend, and we will see you soon. And my email is in the about section if you guys hear anything else. I will be covering this one long term.